All right, so who's excited about Dexter returning? The lumberjack is back.
Light up the dumpster fires.
It
Nobody
is
asked
it
for
is so
this.
surprising to me. Like, why are they bringing that back? I just so random.
Because they've ran out of ideas, isn't it obvious?
And Michael C. Hall's coming back, right? That's who that is, right?
Yeah.
Oh
As
yeah,
Dexter.
yeah. Of course, I don't think he's done anything since Dexter ended in 2015.
Didn't he do that stupid virtual reality video game movie? Like, I feel like that's the
He
only thing I
did
ever
some
saw
sort
of
of
him.
video game movie, but I think that was during the time that
Okay.
Dexter was
Yeah, I'm trying to
running.
remember what movie that was. I know what you're talking about, though.
I mean, I think Showtime made like them promise they wouldn't kill Dexter in the series finale, with in the hope that they'd someday bring it back. So here we are 5 years later, and it's back.
But how how bad were the last however many seasons? Like, I remember it was good the first two, which I watched, but then I didn't watch the other ones. But I remember you guys saying like it got really shitty, like
Oh
after
yeah,
John Lithgow or during.
yeah. After John Lithgow, first 4 seasons were good, and then it just went downhill real fast. Like the last season is fucking atrocious. It's embarrassing. Doug, you jumped off when like three
Season
quarters of the way
5, I
through the
think.
show.
Season
Okay.
5. Season 1, I still think is one of like the greatest seasons of television. Um, 2 and 3 are serviceable. There's a great villain in 2, and then 4, John Lithgow. I mean, it's not as clean. It's not as great, I think, as season 1, but John Lithgow just kills it as the Trinity Killer, and that ending is just so brutal on season 4, and um, so perfect
Yeah,
for that
that was when
character.
TV shows started like killing main characters, like around that
Yeah.
time. I mean, it was pre Walking Dead, but post 24. So that just in post Sopranos. So it was just like became a regular thing where main characters you can expect them to actually start dying. And
Mm-hmm.
what they did with season 4 definitely shocked a lot of people at the end of it, like you were talking about.
Yeah, and it fit perfectly into the season and who Dexter was as a character. Um, it just worked so well. But yeah, it's 5 was just garbage, and from what I've read, it's just kind of continued a downward trajectory from 4. So I don't know. It annoys me that this show is coming back because there's a lot of great shows that Netflix has gotten rid of that I'd like to see come back that that didn't get to play out, and the first couple of seasons that they had were great and they were on like an upward trajectory, and so this show that was just trending downwards and really doesn't deserve it is coming back. But it's Showtime, and I don't know what else Showtime has, and so
Dude, Showtime sucks. They just run their shit dry. Like every show they have that's somewhat hit, they run for like 8 to 10 years. That's why I won't even start any of their shows anymore. Because I know they're just gonna run it dry and it's gonna be crap by like halfway through.
yeah, and then it'll end, and 5 years later they'll bring it back.
Yeah.
So
Um,
yeah, I mean, I don't know who's excited for this. I mean, you did mention when you when you told me about this that one of the original showrunners is coming back.
yeah, they got Clyde Phillips who did season 1 through 4.
So that's the only like positive bit of news where you're maybe it'll be okay, but it sounded like they're not going to be retconning it back to 4. Like the things that happened had still happened. It's not going to be like a Roseanne or some of those other shows
Yeah.
where they're just like, yeah, forget those last couple of seasons. Those didn't happen. It was all a dream.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
not
the
even
Connors.
Roseanne anymore. I'm just not buying the fact that it's going to be one season. I think by like after the season premiere, they're going to be like, okay, it's renewed for a second season, and
Well,
it's officially like season 9 and 10, not a limited series.
what else does Showtime have?
Twin
Um,
Peaks, but that was also a limited series. But that was actually really good.
I think
Twin Peaks season 3.
that Shameless is still on. Like that's towards the end of
Shameless
its
is still
run.
on.
I think so, right?
Apparently.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
I stopped watching that a long time ago.
I mean, I've heard them wanting to bring Weeds back.
They really do run everything dry.
Homeland just ended.
Jesus.
It's just a shitty channel. But like these limited things, these bringing them back, they never work. Like Arrested Development. I'm trying to think of some other
God.
ones. 24 was
24.
it was okay, but like it wasn't
It
necessary.
wasn't the same.
Yeah,
And then
you're
when they
exactly.
made
It
the
just
new
doesn't
one,
feel
it
the
was
same.
like,
Like these things, their time has passed, and then like you just gotta let them go.
yeah.
Well, to me, it's one thing if like a TV show got canceled before they were able to wrap things up, and there was a lot of loose ends, and the creator didn't get to see it all the way through. But like Dexter, they had their shot to end it exactly the way they wanted to, and so
Yeah,
it's
they
like,
did it really bad.
but like, why do we need?
Maybe they didn't. Like Murph said, maybe they were contractually obligated to not kill him or something like that.
Yeah, but
Yeah, I just can't see them being like, okay, now you can do it.
Yeah. We need to make Dexter action figures. You can't kill him.
yeah, I don't know. I'm not. I loved the Dexter at one point in time, and I'm just not crazy about it. That series has been soured for a while now for me. So I don't know. I'm not saying I won't watch it because it'll. If people start saying, "Oh, this show's really great," I'll probably get suckered into it. But I'm not excited about it right now.
Yeah, I mean the only like other than the showrunner returning, I can't imagine like most of any of the cast other than maybe like one or two other characters will come back just because of the way the series ended. I imagine the only ones that will come back will be like his dad and his sister in their like imaginative ghost form. Because fucking James Remar was a ghost for the entire show,
Oh, really?
and flashbacks. So I imagine they're going to do the same thing with his sister. But that show had so many characters that they just like were on screen just so Michael C. Hall would have a break. So I don't think any of those ones will be coming back, like anyone he worked with previously. Since, like I
Not
said,
that guy that wears the fedoras.
no, because he's no longer in Miami. Now he's in lumberjack country.
Oh boy.
Like seriously, the show ended and he was a lumberjack. after he euthanizes his sister and gives away his son to his murderer girlfriend, he then sails away in a storm, in like a hurricane, tropical storm. Everyone thinks he dies, and then you find him later up with a beard, and he's a lumberjack. And then the show ended.
That sounds fucking terrible.
Yeah.
Oh
God.
I'm sure
I
they'll
don't know
bring
how you
Batista
redeem that.
back though. Gotta bring Batista back.
Oh, he did live. He made it to the end.
Apparently, they have an idea.
Yeah, well, they said they would only come back if they had an idea, so we shall see next year.
What a high bar.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's only one way to go now. They can't go any worse than they did with season 8.
I mean, what if they were like, "Hey guys, I got an idea. Let's make some money." Technically, it's an idea.
That's true.
I mean,
What
they
happens
didn't
if
say a
their
good
goal-
idea? They said an idea.
Yeah.
What happens if their goal is to run it further into the ground?
Then they will probably succeed if that's the goal.
I mean,
Let's go back and retcon the first 4 seasons to be equally as fucking terrible as the last couple.
Yeah, they just remake the first 4, but like with the quality of the last half of the show.
That would be outstanding. I think I'd watch that if it was just a full-on like,
dumpster
slander
fire
job to just destroy what they did good.
They're
I'd be all about that.
they're gonna
That'd be
bring John.
hilarious.
They're gonna bring John Lithgow back, but he's gonna be playing his character from Third Rock from the Sun.
Why not just bring French Stewart into it as well? Get the whole lineup going. They're like, you know what? The one thing that we wanted to do in seasons 1 through 4 was to incorporate Third Rock from the Sun, but we couldn't do it because we didn't have the licensing, and now we do. Oh boy, that was a good show though. Third Rock from the Sun.
Never actually watched it.
it was funny.
Very interesting.
Doug,
It's
were
like
you
good,
were you a
shitty
big Third Rock
sitcoms.
fan? You didn't have cable, so you probably had to watch it.
Yeah, I've seen all the episodes of Third Rock.
Did you
It's
watch
fine.
it when it
You
was
got
on like
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
public access?
Yeah, with the long hair and
Yeah,
Yep.
it's entertaining.
Stewart and
I don't know.
Fake
Maybe we'll get a
Christy
reboot of Third Rock.
oh god,
One can only hope, I guess.
yo, it's 2020, man.
Anything could happen.
All right, welcome to Live Breathe Film, episode 19. You're here with Corey, Doug, JP, and Murph. Thanks as always for joining us. Our main topic today, with the election coming up, is fictional presidents that we'd vote for. However, before we get to that, let's run through some news and what we watched over this past week. So, in our yearly or our weekly talk where we discuss the dire fate of movie theaters, there's been another movie that is leaving its 2020 release in theaters, and now this one's going to Amazon. So if anyone's excited for Eddie Murphy's Coming to America, they now only need an Amazon Prime subscription to watch it. Amazon picked it up for $125 million.
Wow.
So not cheap at all.
No.
So Paramount will make some good money back. But movie theaters are hurting, and this is definitely not something that is going to be making them too happy. But you
This was
guys, a
interesting.
couple of you guys have seen this one. I've seen the original. Does a sequel sound like it would potentially work?
No.
Yeah, I don't
It-
think so.
It's one of those things where you're gonna make a sequel to a movie that came out 30 years ago. It's just right there is a huge red flag. The first one's really good. I guess it really depends which Eddie Murphy you're getting for this one. You can go back and capture the Eddie Murphy from the 80s, and he could probably carry a movie like this. But if you get like Haunted Mansion Eddie Murphy, then this is going to be a complete pile of shit. Is this already made?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, it's out the week before Christmas.
Good lord. All right.
As of
Merry
now, that's
Christmas to me.
expectations. I mean, he's been kind of on a roll lately.
Yeah.
By a roll, I
And-
mean hosting SNL and Dolomite Is My Name last year.
Right. I
So-
haven't seen that.
It seems like, and now he's going to be doing stand up whenever that's a possibility again. He's supposed to be doing Beverly Hills Cop 4. So it feels like he's having his career go full circle with like doing all his greatest hits like again, but hopefully better than the latest versions in the cases of like Beverly Hills Cop 3 or anything like that. So I don't know, but it's big for Amazon. I mean, between that and Borat, they're looking like the new place for like big time comedy movies.
That's cool because I think they really needed to get their foot in the door with the streaming service. I know it's always been around, but I've never been the type to say, oh, let me go check Amazon Prime for something to watch, because half the time it's just I have to buy the movie still.
Yeah,
So-
exactly.
It's good for them to be able to get something like this into their belt. Eddie Murphy is a big name. He definitely has some draw power still. And, like I said, it has the recipe for disaster, but I'm still going to give it an open mind. I'm still going to give it a look and just kind of hope that everything's okay with it.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Prime.
It's surprising that Netflix didn't grab this with everything, going on with Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, I was
the past,
expecting
like,
them
year.
to, because I'm pretty sure they have a stand-up deal with him. They did Dolomite Is My Name. I believe
Mhm.
Beverly Hills Cop 4 is going to them as well.
Wow.
So I did expect
I was
them
shocked.
to be the winner, but I guess Amazon was paying more.
Is Arsenio Hall in this one as well?
I believe so.
Oh, that's good. He hasn't done anything.
It seems like there's a bunch of returning actors from the original.
That's good. They get James
I think
Earl
Wesley
Jones.
Snipes is in it. Was he in the first one?
Ooh, I don't think so.
No, he wasn't in the first one,
But
but he was in Dolomite, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yes, and it's from the director of Dolomite.
Fuck, I
So,
there
gotta
you
see
go.
That then.
Yeah.
oh,
Last thing I saw,
Wesley Snipes was
uh,
fantastic in Dolomite Is
Mhm.
My Name. He was like
Yeah,
the highlight.
that's great.
James Earl Jones is back.
Oh yeah, that's good. I like that.
So, yeah, we shall see
It's got some
how that one
promise.
is.
Maybe
Yeah,
it's a
exactly.
Christmas miracle.
Could be, and if not,
Maybe.
we'll have Soul a week later on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Did you guys see? Well, I know you did because we text each other every goddamn movie update there is. Furiosa, the new Mad Max installment, is officially greenlit. George Miller, Babe auteur, and Happy Feet auteur is returning to write and direct, and replacing Charlize Theron, since it's a prequel, is Anya Taylor-Joy from Split, Glass, The Witch, New Mutants. So she'll be playing Furiosa, and Chris Hemsworth and Yaha Abdul Mateen II from Watchmen TV show, who played Dr. Manhattan, and who was also just in Trial of the Chicago 7. He is joining the cast as well. So I imagine we'll absolutely be filming again in Australia. So hopefully that's something that can go into production next year. But what do you guys think really about the fact that Charlize is being replaced, since I feel like she was so iconic in this role that she created?
Do we know that this is not like a prequel? Is it definitely takes place after?
No, it's a prequel.
Okay, so it takes place before the last one that came out. Okay, so
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's fine. I mean,
is it going to be like fucking Solo or something, where you get an iconic character and then some other actor to replace them? It's not exactly.
It's definitely not like a Solo situation.
No.
Furiosa's not like that big of a.
It's only 5 years in one film versus Harrison Ford as.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have preferred it to be just Charlize Theron doing her thing, because, we know that she kicks ass. We know that she's like fucking good in the role,
and she wanted to do it.
Yeah, so I mean that's kind of a slap in the face, I think. But I mean maybe they just had a vision about doing it this way, and that's the way they wanted to go. But I'm a little disappointed because I don't really want to see a prequel to it. I just want to see badassery in like the typical Mad Max fashion. But I'm sure it'll be good. It's going to be a little less fun to watch if we can't watch it in the theater, though.
Yeah, definitely want to see this one on the big screen.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just can't imagine it living up to the heights of Fury Road.
In all fairness, though, I wasn't like super hyped for Fury Road either. It wasn't. There wasn't a whole lot going on with that. It was like a reboot of Mad Max.
Yeah, that came out of nowhere. How
Tom
good that
Hardy
was
lackluster.
Yeah, I mean they did already do it. I mean they replaced the main character of Mad Max, and they found success. Nobody really cared the fact that Mel Gibson wasn't in it. So maybe they can do it again.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely possible.
Anya Taylor-Joy's she's a great actress, so I'd be interested to see what she can do in a role like this, like literally like in the spotlight. So maybe this will be her like really big break.
Yeah, well, hopefully it'll be out in the next 2-3 years.
As long as there's cars and fire, I'm sure it'll be okay.
Hopefully they don't have the issues that they did with filming the last time around. Wasn't it like there was weather? There was like all kinds of weather issues and stuff that like delayed the filming of the movie in Australia. But I remember reading about that.
Yeah, there were plenty of problems with that production, but final product turned out awesome. So
yeah. Just took forever to make.
Yep, exactly. And then another film that's currently in pre-production, which I don't imagine will have the effects, or not even effects, but the practical stunt work of a Mad Max, and take a long time to film. And it's a new feature from Adam McKay. So if you're familiar with his work, most recently with Vice and The Big Short, which were huge departures from his early career as an SNL writer, and then doing a ton of movies with Will Ferrell, like Anchorman, Step Brothers, Talladega Nights, etc. I imagine this will be more like the latter, or like the first his most recent two movies, where they are comedic, but they have dramatic elements that are strong at the same time. But the movie's called Don't Look Up. It has to do with two low-level government officials who are trying to warn the Earth about an impending asteroid hitting, which we are going to be talking about asteroids later on in this show.
It's the
But
asteroid episode.
and how people handle it. Exactly. But this is a Netflix movie, and my God, does it have a fucking great cast.
Yeah.
So originally, Jennifer Lawrence was on deck for this one. She was the only one originally announced. So I have to imagine that she's one of the two leads. But we got a ton of new additions to the cast last week that include none other than Leonardo DiCaprio, Meryl Streep, Jonah Hill, Kate Blanchett, Himish Patel from Yesterday, Ariana Grande and Kid Cudi, and Matthew Perry for some reason.
Wow.
So it is a diverse cast, but it has some of the most A-list talent you could possibly have in a film. So, I mean, I feel like all of us agree anytime Leo's involved with something, we're immediately interested. But
yeah, do you ever think you'd see Leo in a fucking Netflix movie?
no,
Especially an Adam McKay
they
movie.
are in a very different world than they were a few years ago when it was just like the Sandler movies and romantic comedies. Like they get talent now.
Yeah, it's a brave new world that's going on out there when Netflix draws in people like Leo and all that.
Yeah, and he's got his next one with Marty is on Apple. So
Jeez.
usually you're used to the big famous studios like Warner Brothers, Paramount making his stuff, but now he's straight up doing things with the new wave of streaming. But does anything in particular about this one have you excited? Have you guys seen Big Short or Vice?
Big Short's a terrifying movie.
That had a great cast as well.
It did. It's definitely entertaining. Yeah. I thought Vice was a complete piece of shit. I felt like I wasted my time watching that movie. It had so much potential, but to me that was a pretty big stinker. So I'm a little worried about this, but
yeah, I liked Vice, but I didn't see The Big Short.
I haven't seen Vice, but I saw The Big Short. Big Short is too complicated. I don't know. It like lost me, but
yeah, there's a
That's,
lot.
It is very confusing.
Christian Bale's in that, right?
Yes, and
Yeah, he's in both of them.
And Brad Pitt, Ryan Gosling, and Steve Carell.
Yeah, The Big Short's cool. It's a little hard to follow. My wife had to explain it to me. I think the last time we watched it.
They literally they have celebrities come and try to explain it like mid movie. They're like, "Oh, here's Margot Robbie in a bubble bash explaining this."
That was like with real estate, right? When the crash happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was like basically betting on people's mortgages to go under.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Those people that made millions.
As someone that owns a house, like at the end of that movie when they said you can basically expect it to happen again. Like I went pale. I had nightmares at night for like weeks. But yeah, it was a scary movie. I mean, just about economics, but it was definitely entertaining.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely odd to think that the director of Anchorman is making these movies, but I feel like by the end of him doing all those broad comedies, like his passion for them wasn't really there anymore. Like Anchorman 2 was not good.
Oh, he did that? I just assumed they got some like film student to do that one.
Exactly. That's what it felt like. So I'm cool with him going in this direction if this is what he's interested in making.
Yeah, do what makes you happy. I mean, if at some point what you're doing that makes you happy sucks, you're not going to be able to do it anymore. So, got to keep going at it.
Exactly.
If they're letting you make it, and get Leo to go to Netflix.
And then, since it wouldn't be 1 week of news without mentioning something superhero related, David Ayer today on Twitter,
Oh God.
yeah, he talked about his cut of Suicide Squad and how it is fucking awesome. Just like an incredible movie, exactly like what you'd imagine to be from that first Comic-Con trailer in tone and everything like that. And that he was a good soldier in taking the heat over the years, but he is convinced that his movie is fantastic. So, what do you guys think? Are we ever going to see this thing? And do you think he's like? Do you think it's actually really good, or is he just his judgment clouded because he's the director of the film and hurt about the film that was released?
I mean, I'm gonna personally go with no, because he hasn't done a movie since Suicide Squad that was any good.
What did he do?
So,
Did he Tax Collector? Was that him that just came out?
Tax Collector, which is supposed to be terrible, and then he did something before that. I'm trying to remember what it was.
He did Fury, which was before Suicide Squad.
Was Bright after?
Bright, yes, that was
Bright. Yep.
So that was the bad. That was an example of the bad Netflix movies and that era. So they have turned that corner.
I mean, we've all seen Suicide Squad, right? I don't think there's a good movie in there. Like, I just find it hard to believe that like you change the cut and it's like, oh shit, this is a good, like, just didn't seem like it was the poor cutting of the movie that made that movie bad. That movie had a lot of issues.
I think it made it worse, but
that's basically what led him to say this. Was somebody had said, like, how different could it possibly be? Like, the other version's definitely bad too. And he came back and was like, my shit's amazing.
So, yeah, I watched it and it's amazing.
Yeah.
You know what they say, and I'm pretty sure there's a law that says you can't, and Doug can back me up on this because he's a lawyer. There's a law that says you're not allowed to lie on the internet. I'm pretty sure that's a
Oh yeah, that's a real law. That's a real law.
It's a real law. So I think we just have to go with the fact that it is a good movie. I mean, he can't go on the internet and lie. No one goes and does that.
So yeah, Suicide Squad is the Ayer cut is fantastic.
Coming at you for the Oscars.
You heard it here, and hopefully we just get to see this film.
So listen to his resume. He did Street Kings, Fury, Suicide Squad, Bright, and The Tax Collector. And he did other things, but those are the things that I'm pulling out of.
Yeah, doesn't he have Fast and the Furious?
He wrote Training Day, right?
He wrote,
he wrote Fast and the Furious and Training Day.
He has great writing cred, but the movies that he directed...
He peaked in 2001 when those two films came out.
U571. Yeah, he wrote the screenplay for Fast and the Furious.
But, I mean, if you're like... why not throw it on HBO Max is what I kind of wonder. Like, if it's really in a state where he's able to watch it and say that this is fire, and you don't need to dump hundreds of millions of dollars into refilming and making it into a movie, like, dump it on HBO Max, and you probably got a little bit of hype from his text saying it's fire.
I don't think anyone gives a shit. I don't think there's anyone out there being like, I need to see another cut of the Suicide Squad. We're getting the retcon Suicide Squad savior movie from James Gunn. No one's like clamoring for fucking tattooed up Joker and fucking Slipknot to live for an extra 15 minutes in the movie or something like that.
And if we're wrong, please tell us.
Yeah, I mean, if you're out there, I would love to meet you. I would love to talk to you and just figure out what the fuck makes your brain tick, because I don't get it. But I would love to. I'd love to have that perspective. I mean, maybe if the Snyder Cut does well, they'll do this, but I'm sure they're not going to invest any time and money into it if they're so worried about Zack Snyder.
That's what I'm saying. If you don't need to invest really any money into it, like, why not just throw it on there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if it doesn't have the same, if like the executives who were behind the changes are all gone at this point, then there's really nothing to lose. You're not going to
Who
be
knows,
hurting
though?
anyone's feelings.
Maybe his cut of the movie that he loves so much has like weird cardboard cutouts moving around for scenes that he didn't get to finish,
Mm-hmm.
and he just thinks it looks great, or something like that. Or there's like large blank areas of film that he just fills in with his imagination. And he's like, "This is fucking fire."
Yeah.
Sitting here, I'm like 3 bottles of whiskey deep, and I can see the movie that I want.
I mean, this will definitely be a topic of conversation for the next year through Justice League coming out, the new one.
Yeah.
And then with
Definitely.
with the release of James Gunn's version of the Suicide Squad next summer. I know James Gunn's been very supportive of David Ayer and wanting to see his cut get released and things like that, and vice versa, which is nice to see. But
yeah, as a filmmaker, you definitely always want to see someone's vision of what they are, and you probably can relate on more than one occasion.
Exactly.
A studio fucking you over, like, I don't know, firing you for a tweet,
exactly.
and rehiring you.
Yeah.
So if it comes out, it comes out. I would be happy for people to see it and for him to get his cut out if it really is so different, because it would suck to spend so much time on a project and it get mutilated.
Yeah.
But we'll see when we see.
It doesn't affect my life in any way if it does or doesn't. So
exactly.
Do it.
Just do it.
All right.
I'd watch it if it was free on
Ayer cut. It's fire.
Hashtag release the Ayer cut.
I want a trank cut of Fantastic Four. That'll never happen.
That's not going to happen. But I think Ayer cut. There's
Ayer cut's much
maybe
more
a shot.
realistic.
Ayer cut. Yeah.
What about the Joel Schumacher cut of Batman Forever?
I keep hearing rumors about that. That's
Apparently
actually
Ice-T
a thing.
or not Ice-T. Ice Cube was talking about it on the internet. I say Ice-T because for some reason I was watching Moneyball and Ice-T has a fucking voiceover in that movie.
He does?
I don't understand why. Yeah. It feels like the other guys. When he has the voiceover in that too. It's just, I don't know why Ice-T is talking about baseball. But Ice Cube was talking about the Schumacher cut of Batman Forever.
Why?
I didn't
Was
watch
he supposed to be
it.
in it?
Dude, I don't even know. I didn't watch it. I just saw it pop up on my feed, and I said, that's not something I ever thought I'd see.
Again, if it came out, I'd watch it just out of morbid curiosity. But
for sure.
Expectations would not be high.
No.
All right, let's get into what we watched over this past week. We got a lot. So a lot of ground to cover, both in our individual picks and some things that a bunch of us watched. But Corey, you want to start with your classic?
Yeah. So I watched Alien 1 and 2 over the past week. After I watched Alien 1, I was craving to watch the second one again. So that movie is just like visually, it's incredible how well it still holds up. I mean, talking about James Cameron, visionary director
of Avatar.
Like that's Avatar.
That's what he will go to the grave known for. Avatar.
Avatar, yeah.
I mean, he's one director who definitely has like a style. Like if you've seen his movies, he has a distinct style to his filmmaking, and everything that he did with Aliens it's like perfect. I feel like that movie is close to perfect. It's great. I mean, you have everything that they set up with the first one, story-wise. Sigourney Weaver coming back, she killed it again. She was, even more so. I think she put on an even stronger performance. Bill Paxton. I mean, the supporting cast is, I think, a lot stronger than the first one because the characters are just like crazier. They're just more interesting, more eccentric, and like the action is, definitely a lot more kinetic than the first one. The first one is good in a lot of different ways. It feels more like a home invasion horror movie type of thing, and the second one is more of like an action movie. But it's just like nonstop, just action and just fantastic. So it's amazing how.
Sorry,
no, JP, go.
It's pretty crazy to think that James Cameron's responsible for 2 of the sequels that are actually better than the original.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a joke
Yeah.
in Scream too. Even
Yeah, it's nuts. It's man knows how to build upon a franchise and make it better. So when Avatar 2 is better than Avatar 1, he'll be 3, right, Doug?
Yeah, I mean, I'm
Possible.
expecting Avatar 2 to blow all of our minds.
and then
The Terminator 2 of the
Avatar
real world.
Avatar 3 will subsequently just fuck our skulls because it's gonna be so damn good.
Yeah. Stay tuned.
The-
2025.
The biggest takeaway for me with this movie, somewhat with the first two, but the special effects, like, still hold up. It's on the level for me, like with like The Thing, the practical effects are just on like a whole nother level. I mean, this movie came out what in 86, I think.
Yep.
And the special effects, I mean, they're dated obviously, but they hold up better than a lot of movies that came out maybe within the past 10 years. You know, very well thought out practical effects. So yeah, I mean, if you haven't seen any of the Aliens movies, watch these two, but don't watch any of the ones after that. I might revisit 3 and 4 though, just for shits. We'll see. So,
I mean, they're definitely shit.
oh yeah, they're terrible. 3 is
I
better than 4.
I kind of like
from
3.
what I remember.
I think it's just the Fincher of it all that even though I know they kind of manhandled it from him, and I mean release the Fincher cut, but
I keep forgetting that he directed that.
I'm all about that.
it is mind blowing how like they had 3 up and coming directors do the first 3 movies, and they've turned into fucking Ridley Scott, James Cameron, and David Fincher.
Yeah, that's
Like,
wild.
3 of like the most prolific directors of the past 40 years.
Yeah,
it's
nuts.
crazy.
Yeah, I'll have to. I don't even remember what the third one is about. The fourth one sticks in my mind because of how terrible it is. But
Yeah,
the third one,
fourth's really bad.
I really don't remember anything about it, so I'll probably revisit that soon.
Which one's the one with Ron Perlman? Is that the fourth one?
Yeah.
I remember seeing that
We
one.
talked about this recently, Murph.
We
were
did.
talking about this.
I think when we were hanging out, we were talking about it.
He was so hammy.
I remember seeing the fourth one in theaters, and my brother had to leave because he threw up from like slushy, like a bad slushy or something at Valley
It
View.
wasn't the movie.
No, it wasn't the
It
movie.
wasn't the movie that made him.
It was
At Valley View, wow.
Yeah, it was Valley View Cinemas. Defunct
Tiniest theater.
defunct former porno theater in Wayne, New Jersey.
Yeah.
R.I.P. But yeah, Alien Resurrection, not a good movie.
No.
All
That's
right,
the one where she's the alien, right?
she's a clone,
She's a clone.
and I think she has a pregnant alien, or she's pregnant
Right. With
because
an
she was
alien.
pregnant in the third one with an alien, or like a
Right.
face. She got like a face hugged when she was in her like cryo sleep after the second one, and then because she like leapt to kill herself at the end of 3, they clone her, and with the clone, they can then get the alien harvested from her. Fucking
Perfectly normal storyline.
weird. Yeah, perfectly.
Whatever
perfectly
happened-
normal.
Whatever happened to
Wayland
that?
Yutani, the most fucking messed up organization in the world.
They
Yeah.
care.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to that Neil Blomkamp joint where they were going to bring back Sigourney Weaver? They were going to like retcon the fourth one.
Yeah, it
weren't
just fell off the face of
they?
the
It just
earth.
fell.
Just
It
like
went the same way as his Halo movie.
and his RoboCop movie.
Yeah.
I
That
mean, I
sucks.
think we could just accept he's not that good a director.
Neil Blomkamp.
He had like one good movie, and everything he's done since has been pretty bad.
Elysium was good. I liked Elysium. I didn't see Chappie. I didn't see that one.
I didn't like Elysium.
Yeah, it
I
was
to see Chappie just
okay.
because Diane Ward is like
Yeah.
2 of the 4 main characters in the
Mhm.
movie.
Who is?
Diane Ward.
Hmm.
They're a South African band
Gotcha.
of weird people.
Rap, right? Isn't it like a lot of rap?
Yeah, like rap, techno-y dance stuff. They're interesting.
They're weird looking.
They're weird people.
Yeah.
All right, Doug, you didn't quite watch all of The Haunting of Bly Manor like Corey did last week, but I guess you got through the majority of the season.
Yeah,
How do you
know,
feel
it's amazing.
in comparison to him?
It's amazing when you don't have to watch Hubie Halloween what you can get accomplished.
That's exactly what he did last week by not watching UB Halloween.
Oh, Corey,
I
didn't,
did.
wait,
I did
didn't-
watch it though.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I thought. Yeah, I thought I mentioned it, but I did. Yeah,
Oh,
I did watch it. I liked it. It was stupid,
yeah,
but fun.
that sounds about right. Um, but yeah, Haunting of Bly Manor, I thought it's fun. I'm enjoying it so far. Like you said, I didn't finish it. I'm 6 episodes in. It's like one of those horror type shows. It kind of reminds me a little bit of American Horror Story season 1, although like less creepy. But there's like ghosts, and you're kind of like figure out their backstories along the way. But yeah, it's entertaining. A lot of the characters from the first season they reused in the second season, including Henry Thomas. And so this show takes place over in the UK, and so poor Henry Thomas has to try to do a British accent, and he fails
it's pretty
miserably
bad.
at it.
I did get used to it
It's
after
so
like the
bad.
second episode, but it is really bad.
It's by far. There's a couple of Americans that get forced to do British accents, and he's by far the worst.
Yeah, he's definitely up there as one of the worst for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. His brother was British, so they decided they had to make him British. But then I was like, Christopher Nolan has a brother who talks with an American accent, so they could have explained it away. But yeah, it's really bad. I think it's level like Mary Poppins bad with Dick Van Dyke.
It's like the Cockney
Yeah, it's so bad.
chimney sweep bullshit.
It's not Cockney, but it's a really bad accent. So that's the big takeaway for me in The Haunting of Bly Manor. But otherwise, yeah, like I said, it's entertaining. Not as good as the first season, not as creepy as the first season, but worth a watch if you liked the first season.
How
Different.
spooky is it?
It's not very.
It's not very spooky.
I didn't think it was that spooky, but my wife has been spooked a few times by it, where she like had to like look at her phone because there's some creepy moments, but it's not. It's not nearly as spooky as the first season.
Yeah.
The Haunting of Hill House.
Yeah.
I will say that once you finish it, I'd be interested to see like what you think. But as a whole, I thought the story was very well done. It was satisfying, entertaining, and it was different. It was it was way different than the first one.
They use one of those techniques where somebody's like reliving memories, their own memories, but they like realize that they're living their own memories, and you see them like flip through them. And I thought that was done like in a really cool way.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like a fun plot device. Kind of reminded me a little bit of The Leftovers, where he's like in his head. I don't remember what that's called. Or
International Assassin.
yeah, I mean it's not International Assassin, but just like a plot device where they kind of realize there's like a self-realization that they don't belong where they are, and what's going on isn't what's actually happening in the real world. And so it kind of reminded me of that.
That reminded me a lot of Lost with Desmond. I don't know if you watched Lost. I know Murph did, but like with him traveling, he basically was reliving other periods of his life, like just like flashes randomly, and that reminded me a lot of Bly Manor with those scenes with those certain characters.
Yeah, I mean it's both Lindelof, so that makes sense.
Oh yeah. But it ends on a good note. I think I'm pretty sure I mentioned this last week, but it ends I think on a more satisfying note than Hill House. But I'd be interested to see what you think. How many episodes do you have left?
2 episodes. I think it's 8
Oh,
episodes,
okay.
right?
9.
Oh, 3 episodes.
9. Yeah. Okay.
Well, hopefully it
Report
pans
back
out
next
for you.
week.
All right, JP. I know you talked about season 1 of Unsolved Mysteries earlier this year. With the
Yeah.
second one, did that just come out or something?
Yeah, I wasted no time. It came out today. I pretty much finished it, except for there's one episode in Japanese, and I was doing other things, so I didn't have time to read. It's also about ghosts, so I don't give a shit because those episodes are the worst episodes of Unsolved Mysteries. So I'm a huge fan of the actual original show that used to be back on Lifetime. And I liked the first half of the first season. I guess this is season 2 or the second half of season 1. I'm not really too sure. But to me, it seems like they really ran out of ideas after the first 6 episodes they put out, because I found almost none of these episodes to be compelling by any means. A lot of them seemed fairly obvious what happened, and yeah, they just really didn't bring me into the whole Unsolved Mysteries feeling of, when the episode is over, me trying to figure out exactly what happened. It seemed pretty obvious with some of these ones, and they even interviewed people that I think are fucking guilty. And yeah, it was kind of hollow and kind of not rewarding to watch, and that bothered me because I've been waiting for this for about a month or two now, ever since they announced it. Probably worth a watch, I guess, if you want to sit down and kind of laugh and figure out who the guilty party is when they're interviewing these people. But when someone says, what I think happened in this abduction murder is they were trying to just scare her, and then they ended up killing her, and then he's one of the
He's
prime suspects for
yeah.
the children. You seem
It
pretty
totally
guilty.
wasn't murder. It was manslaughter.
It's like they were probably just trying to put some scare into her so that I paid them all the money that I owed them, and then they killed her. Yeah, it was pretty bad. There was one good one of a missing person, but even then, there wasn't a whole lot to go on for the case, so you just sort of feel left hollow and unfulfilled.
Yeah.
Unlike the other ones that really make you think. So yeah, Unsolved Mysteries season 2, season
2.
1.5. I don't know.
Yeah.
Not great. Hopefully they step it up next season if they get another season. Still needs a narrator. I'm still tired of just like random mooks fucking narrating the whole thing, because they're clearly not professional speakers.
Yeah, that's
There's a
got to
lot
be
of
annoying.
likes, a lot of vocalized pauses.
You think
really
they'd have
annoying
professional
accents.
to just do them all?
Yeah, that's really why the first incarnation of it worked, because you had Robert Stack going through the whole thing, and he had a voice that really made you feel uneasy about the things that were going on. He was a good narrator, and they really do need something like that. So hopefully they find their stride in their next season. But Unsolved Mysteries, you disappointed me on this day.
All right. And then as for myself, I mentioned it last week that I was in the middle of watching Cobra Kai on Netflix. I have since finished both seasons. Probably watched them both in like 4 days combined. I mean, it's a real quick and addicting watch. 2 10-episode seasons. What it is a follow-up to the Karate Kid films, but this time Ralph Macchio's Daniel LaRusso is not like the sole main character. It kind of follows him and his high school nemesis, played by William Zabka, Johnny Lawrence. And it follows the two of them and the next generation of Karate Kids. So you're seeing Johnny's son, who he has a strange relationship with, Daniel's daughter, and then a kid that's very similar to Daniel from the situation with what he was in the first Karate Kid movie, where he lives in the same apartment as Johnny. So ultimately, I did not expect the show to be as funny as it was. Like is more of a comedy, in my opinion, than like a dramatic piece. It's got definitely has a lot of heart to it, but it is from the creators of like the Harold and Kumar movies and the writers of those and American Reunion. So if I had known that going into it, I would have been like, oh, okay, this makes a lot of sense.
I did not know that. I
Yeah.
watched the whole thing.
So they clearly had a ton of respect for the series. I mean, there's plenty of callbacks to the original and at least the second one. Corey and I actually just watched Karate Kid Part 2 over the weekend because I had never seen it. So after watching Cobra Kai, I watched Karate Kid Part 2. And I was like, oh, okay. I'm picking up on some bunch of references from Cobra Kai, which was cool. But I still have to see Part 3. But yeah, JP, I know you've watched the entire thing.
Yeah.
Corey, you've watched the first 2 episodes, and Doug, I think you've seen the first episode. JP, you probably have the biggest relationship with the series since you were a kid.
Yeah,
What
I used to kick people in the head. Yeah.
And you did karate. How
That's
how did it? How did you like in comparison to me, who had seen the original movie, but didn't have like this didn't watch it a million times when I was a kid or anything like that?
Yeah, I really liked it. I like the juxtaposition of now that Johnny is sort of the good guy, and you realize that maybe Daniel LaRusso was kind of a fucking asshole to a degree. So everyone's an asshole to everyone else, and Johnny's got this background that obviously they don't explore in the movies, but you can kind of tell why he ended up the way he was, and I just like how out of touch he is.
Yeah,
with
it seems
all
like
of society.
It seems like he just was frozen since the 80s.
Yeah, and it's funny because those movies are so fucking hammy and so 80s and so goofy that it's just fun poking fun at them for how he acted and is still acting to this day. I like the karate aspect of it too. I never understood these things. Like, these kids are kicking each other in the head with shoes on and shit. Like, there would be concussions galore.
Karate completely takes over Southern California.
Yeah, and I can tell you, someone that did it, there were pads, and you kick people in the head, and it didn't hurt that much to be kicked in the head. That the end of season 2 is just fucking ridiculous, and I kind of hated it the way that they ended it.
Yeah, it was pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, but the show overall is fantastic. It's a lot of fun to watch, just to see all the different characters and how they've progressed, and there's a lot of back and forth, like the whole fact that Johnny, his kid, hates his dad and then idolizes Daniel LaRusso just because you want to stick it to your dad. It's a lot of fun to watch. I'm really excited for season 3.
Yeah, January 8th, I believe. Season 3 comes out on Netflix. And it's funny how just everyone fell in love with it once it went on Netflix. Nobody really.
Yeah.
The people who watched it on YouTube Red enjoyed it, but there was such a small base of people that paid for YouTube that once it went to Netflix over the past summer, it just blew up. So I'm glad that we're at least getting 2 more seasons out of it, since they said they're going to be resuming or starting production on season 4 pretty soon.
It was one of those shows I always wanted to watch on YouTube Red, but I made a stand saying I'm not going to pay for hundreds of different streaming services just because you're going to put something on there. So it all worked out in the end. But it always seemed like something that would be fun to watch.
Corey and Doug, as people who've just got a small taste of it, what do you think?
I mean, also with JP, I grew up with these movies, so I was pleasantly surprised with how they drew you in. It had so many callbacks to the original movies, and I just thought that the plot was very interesting with how they kind of, the show seems like it's being told from the perspective of Johnny instead of Daniel LaRusso. And you're seeing Johnny not as this this
uber high school villain.
Yeah, like you see the things from his perspective. Like there was one thing that he says in the episode, like, you took my girlfriend, and when you think about it, it's like, oh yeah, he kind of did. He took his girl, But in the
Yeah, like
perspective, the
if you're
way
in his situation, like you'd be fucking
exactly,
pissed too.
yeah. I mean, the way that obviously because Daniel LaRusso was, the star and like he's the hero of the movies. So from that perspective, he was the good guy and you thought Johnny was the bad guy. And now from this show, it's very much a gray area, it seems. I mean, Daniel's not a bad guy, I don't think. I don't know.
No, he just
But
comes off as like a kind of like pretentious,
like a prick, yeah.
yeah.
He's just a pompous, prick. He kind of just, went
He's
all
had
in
tons
on,
of success and
yeah. So, yeah, I was not expecting what I saw, and I definitely gonna continue to watch it. I like it, and the callbacks so far were really awesome, tying the originals.
what about you, Doug?
I didn't really like it. Not to always be like the contrarian of the group, but yeah, it just didn't really do anything for me. I agree. Danny seemed like an asshole the entire time. I just like kind of wanted to punch Danny in the face with his like douchey used car salesman stuff.
Bonsai tree for every sale you make.
Slashing prices.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. I got like there was like one fight scene in the first episode. I guess so. It
He
was
beats
like
the shit out of a bunch of kids. How did that not bring you into it? He
and
whoops a bunch of kids' ass.
yeah,
that was
like
awesome.
I don't know. I get that they're trying to be like, oh look, it's the cheesy fighting from the '80s, but it was just like this is so cheesy.
Oh,
Just like
wait till you get to the season 2 finale. The fight scene,
God.
the fight in there is it's pretty intense.
there's just like there's such great fighting on television these days that I don't know. The cheesy fighting was just kind of felt like a step backwards, but I get
I
if
think
you're
the
like a fan of the
choreography gets a lot better throughout the course of the show. Like by the tournament in the season 1 finale, it's like good fight scenes.
I could see that.
Okay, yeah. I mean
Also, he's
if he
fighting
gets-
high school kids that don't do karate. They're just like a bunch of fucking jerk offs.
Yeah, but like even him like fighting them.
Yes, it was
kind of goofy.
Yeah. The good thing is I don't think he has one other real karate fight throughout the show, right? So far?
No, he doesn't do any.
It's always the kids that are the ones in the
it's always
fights.
the kids.
Well, it
about
seemed
the
like
kids.
it seemed
Yeah.
pretty
The
clear
drama's
that
for the adults. The kids do the fighting.
it was kind of like maybe you should have had a stunt double come in there for the fight scene because
I
the
think
actors.
the point is though that he's an out of shape goon that's out of touch with the world. He drinks Coors Banquet beer all the time. and
He
he's
loves
got a
the
little bit
Banquet
of a
beer.
Spare tire. He loves the Banquet beer.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it gets better, but from episode 1,
It does.
I
for
wasn't.
sure.
I wasn't
Yeah,
hooked.
watch episode 2. I mean, it's such a quick watch. I mean, the episodes are probably like 25 to 30 a piece. Give it a couple more episodes. If it's not for you, it's not for you. But I mean, as someone you're a Karate Kid guy, so as well. It's funny because I'm definitely the least of the 4 of us, and
Yeah.
I liked it a lot. So it is interesting seeing how someone who just has a minor relationship with it responds versus people who like it a lot, like who had a really big passion for the series, like the 3 of you. But if it's not for you, it's not for you.
Yeah,
Hopefully it
we'll
is.
see.
All right. That's enough Cobra Kai for now. Let's move on to a few different movies and shows that we watched over the past week that a couple of us have watched. So over the weekend, Corey and I also watched on Netflix Hunt for the Wilderpeople. It's Taika Waititi's film that he made before Thor Ragnarok and after What We Do in the Shadows. So it stars Sam Neill and the kid from Deadpool 2. What's his name? Julian Dennison. It's got the usual Taika humor in it. It's basically the two of them on I guess on their own little
They're like
adventure.
fugitives.
They're like fugitives on their own little adventure in the New Zealand bush, outback, and it's absolutely it's ridiculous. But the whole story, you're basically just watching their relationship blossom. As in the beginning, Sam Neill has just like basically like utter contempt for this kid. After his wife ends up convincing them to like adopt the kid. So, and he's like a troubled, like wannabe gangster. So they don't get along at all. And then by the end, obviously things are in a much different place. But it was a funny movie. Corey, if there's anything you want to add to it, anything you'd compare it to, any type of movie or anything like that?
Comparison wise, I don't know. I thought it was incredibly unique. I know I said this to you while we were watching it, but it was nice to see Sam Neill in something, that came out recently. We were trying to figure out what he was in since Jurassic Park, and we couldn't. There was really nothing notable. But he was awesome. The usual Taika cameos were cool. Like a lot of those character or actors that show up in his movies were there. One thing, the movie was shot like I thought it was beautiful. Like it was very different than in a lot of ways than his other movies. I mean, he's only made like what 3 movies at this point, 4.
Yeah, like 4 or 5.
I thought it was very unique.
Yeah, it definitely made me want to go to New Zealand.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned this. It was shot. Some of the shots were almost like a commercial for like travel to New Zealand.
Yeah, exactly.
It was, it was very much the bush, the woods, that the movie took place in were like a character in itself, and I thought that was really cool. Yeah, ridiculous but fun. I enjoyed it way more than I thought it was going to. I didn't even know what it was. We just kind of jumped into it. So,
yeah, I kept seeing
the
little clip on Netflix, and the little clip was the part where they're singing that like the wife singing that birthday song to him, and like it was like keyboard stuck in my head for like a week. So finally watched it, and it's definitely, I would definitely recommend it. I didn't like it as much as Jojo Rabbit or Ragnarok, but it was still like a top-notch film that I would definitely recommend to anyone who likes Taika. So JP and Doug,
what's
on
with
that.
Sam Neill hating kids?
That was something I thought during the movie, and I didn't actually say it, but I'm like, that's like a thing for him. Like he hates kids really well.
Secretly hate children.
Yeah, I was like,
real life.
They're just reprising his Alan Grant hatred of kids from Jurassic Park.
We might have to get him on here to ask him why he hates children so much. Why he only takes jobs playing characters who hate children.
We said that the only actor now that kid hasn't acted with is Laura Dern.
Or no, the only one that Taika hasn't worked with.
Oh, Taika, sorry,
because he worked with Jeff Goldblum and
Ragnarok. Yeah.
So yeah, his goal probably is work with Laura Dern, and he can retire.
It's a pretty fantastic goal.
I almost want him to direct a Jurassic Park movie now, especially after watching that.
I don't know that I need to see that.
Yeah, I don't think silly Jurassic Park works.
I don't know. The last one I saw was pretty damn silly, but not essentially
balls.
Exactly. Just fucking dumb.
So it doesn't work.
And time to roast Fallen Kingdom again.
Oh God, that one I didn't see. I'm not even talking about that one. I'm talking about the Jurassic World.
Oh,
that one was fucking stupid
trash,
too.
Yeah, that was kind of silly in its own right.
That's why I haven't even seen Fallen Kingdom yet. Maybe I'll watch it eventually.
And did you guys know Sam Neill was from New Zealand?
Yes, I've seen him. He's been in something where he's got
I didn't
an accent.
He also has like an Alan Grant hat in the film. So
was he in Lord of the Rings at all?
No, he should have been. No,
I'm actually shocked that he wasn't, because that was all New Zealand.
What was the show where he was like a priest or something? No, never mind.
I don't know.
Father, fucking Alan Grant hates children.
Yeah, he the Tutors.
Ah, yes. Did he hate children there too?
I don't remember, but he probably did. So the
Part of his
Samuel
It's part of his
requirement.
shtick.
Yeah, Samuel gets a script and it has like, he's like, I've got to rewrite this
Like-
character. And he doesn't hate children enough.
I'm gonna need you to add children into this movie so that I can hate them. It's kind of my thing.
They're like, we want you for this part. He goes, well, this other character doesn't like kids, so I think I'll take that role instead.
Oh, yeah, and he
they're like,
wasn't
but
Thor.
that's a woman.
Yeah, Sam, that's a woman. I don't think you can play that character.
We're gonna change it to a man.
Yeah.
Didn't he play Odin in the theater scene?
You're right. He already did
Yeah.
work with
in Thor.
You're good call.
he
Good
did.
call.
Well, that was after. That was after.
Yeah, it was after
this.
Wilderpeople, so they already had their
Yeah,
relationship.
He was Odin. Oh my god.
Wait, so he got both of them in the same movie?
Yeah, and yep,
Yeah.
exactly.
Is Laura Dern secretly somewhere within Thor Ragnarok?
If she's not, she'll end up being in Love and Thunder.
Fair enough.
Maybe they'll get them all together for the most random post-credit scene ever.
That'd be great. They make Jurassic Park Marvel canon.
All right, and for our last movie of the week to talk about, Netflix dropped Aaron Sorkin's The Trial of the Chicago 7 this past week. So this was based on a true story. Had as an all-star cast, Sacha Baron Cohen, Eddie Redmayne, Jeremy Strong from Succession, John Carroll Lynch, the David Fincher's idea of the Zodiac Killer.
I watched that this week too.
Dr. Manhattan. Did you really?
Yeah.
I
I got a problem.
As previously mentioned, Dr. Manhattan himself, Mark Rylance from Bridge of Spies and a bunch of other Spielberg movies, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Frank Langella, and Michael Keaton. So awesome cast. Doug, as our resident legal expert, what did you think of the film?
I mean, I think you didn't have to be like a lawyer to know that what was happening on the courtroom scenes was like not supposed to be the way that like a trial goes. I mean, you had Dr. Manhattan. What's the actor's name?
Yahya or Yaha. I'm not sure how to say his first name. Abdul Mateen II.
Yeah, so you had his character during the trial, like
You didn't even try.
Just say Dr. Manhattan.
Dr. Manhattan. You
Or
had his
Black
character.
Manta if you prefer to go the Aquaman route.
Oh, he's Black Manta? That's lovely.
His character, like, just like one of the scenes that stick out to me of just like how crazy this trial was like his character was like, hey, like, I don't have an attorney. My attorney is like wrote you a letter. He's sick and he like couldn't show up for this hearing. And the judge kept being like, yeah, you got an attorney next to you who represents these other 6 people. Like, why can't he just represent you? And he was like, that's not my attorney. And the judge just was like, I don't know, like, whatever.
Every time Mark Rylance got like more annoyed by that, he finally like screams like, "I'm not his lawyer!" like I just found that hilarious.
It was just so infuriating. Like if anything, I felt like people in that courtroom, and I don't know how it actually went, but I did read that like a lot of that did actually happen in the courtroom, which I found shocking. But like you kind of wonder, like, I thought everyone kept their cool pretty well, and they still got like 20 counts of contempt or whatever. Yeah. But I would have like lost my mind in that courtroom. I mean, it was just insane. It was crazy. I didn't really know anything about the story, but I just angry the whole time. Just like that, especially like the judge. Just was like,
yeah, I mean, he was clearly like out of his element and probably should have retired like a long time ago.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't even just that he was out of his element. It was that he was purposely he like felt that these people were guilty, that they didn't need a trial, and like let's just get the show on the road. Um, yeah, so it was crazy, but it was well done. I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. It was a good movie. All the acting I thought went well. Keaton didn't have a huge role in it, but it was
He was
nice
great
that
for what he was in, though.
yeah, he was nice when he popped up. Sacha Baron Cohen did a good job, I thought.
Would you say he was like the standout performer?
Yeah, I mean, I thought, yeah, he did a good, yeah, probably. Eddie Eddie Redmayne, I thought did a decent job. I didn't notice his accent.
No, neither did
Like it
I. I
didn't
thought he
stand
did a
out to
good
me at
job.
all. So he must have done a good job with the accent because it didn't even like register for me that he was doing one. Um, but yeah, I thought it was good. It's definitely worth a watch. Probably one of the better things, one of the better Netflix movies that have come out.
Yeah, I mean,
What'd you think?
right now it's like a Oscar front runner. Do you think that's fair to say, or
Yeah,
is
I
it
mean,
not,
what
is
else
it
has come
not
out
that
this
good?
year? No, I mean,
Yeah.
I thought it was definitely there's Oscar worthy performances. Screenplay was good. Yeah, it's definitely an Oscar contender. I mean, this is kind of a weak Oscar year,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
I think even in a strong or a normal Oscar year, I think it'd probably be a contender, at least for some categories.
Hmm.
Acting and screenplay are the two that kind of stick out.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I thought the Sorkin did a good job directing his own um, material. That was the first one I've ever seen him direct.
I was yeah, I was gonna ask how many has he directed before?
I think he only did one prior to this, Molly's Game with Jessica Chastain.
Okay, I didn't see that.
Yeah, I didn't see that one either. But obviously, he's done courtroom stuff before with A Few Good Men. Um, Social Network had tons of depositions and things like that. Um, or he did To Kill a Mockingbird on Broadway, so he's plenty of experience in with these types of scripts. But yeah, I agree in the fact that the performances were all top notch. Um, it was up my alley. I mean, it was the type of you guys knew I was going to like it, so it was really probably the last 20 minutes that had it like elevate like probably like a star rating for me, which I would say it's partially it goes a little sentimental overboard, like with the last part with Eddie Redmayne giving his closing statement or whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
But it fucking worked for me.
Yeah, I think that's the part that actually didn't happen, or didn't
Makes
happen that
sense
way. Yeah,
because it felt like that was for dramatic effect.
yeah,
But we won't spoil it. But yeah, I definitely enjoyed it. I can see myself watching it again somewhere down the road.
yeah. And like none of the courtroom stuff stuck out to me as being like, oh, this is like not how it would happen or anything, other than the fact that the judge was crazy biased and but apparently that happened. So just fucking terrible. Glad the result ultimately uh,
Swung their way.
swung their way. But yeah,
Spoilers.
it's sort of is, it's sort of not.
I mean, technically, it's post credit. It's the writing on the screen that tells you it, so it's not even like part of the movie. But yeah, cool. But yeah, there's plenty more Netflix movies that we'll be talking about later this year. That are debuting. Mank, for one, which we've just talked about, and we're definitely all excited for. Chadwick Boseman's next film. The trailer dropped for that today, or his last film, with Viola Davis. There's another one that I saw a trailer for this past week with Amy Adams and Glenn Close. So there's a lot of like awards type movies that will be on the platform by year's end. And who knows, there might end up being more that are announced, but that we're supposed to go to theaters. So we will talk about them when the time comes. But for now, let's get into episode 9 of Lovecraft Country. I did not catch up on it, and Doug did not watch the finale yet, so we are not talking about 9 and 10 like originally planned. We'll just talk about episode 9 real quick, Corey and Doug, since you were the only ones who watched it.
Yeah, so the biggest thing about this episode, the most interesting thing, is we go back to Tulsa, right? So we've got two big TV shows that hit on the Tulsa riots. Seemed like Watchmen kind of paved the way for them to talk about this. But we kind of got like a different perspective of the riots in this episode because it felt like smaller because you were following these characters in their house versus like the entire riots. I thought it was still kind of felt like a powerful episode, but wasn't quite as powerful as to me as when Watchmen did it, and it may just be because I wasn't familiar with the Tulsa riots before Watchmen. But overall, I enjoyed the episode. What did you think, Corey?
I did. I really liked it, and without going into spoilers, I do feel after the up and down roller coaster nature of this season, especially with not really knowing where it was going and the different tones of each episode. I thought they tied up the entire season and the narrative really well. I was very satisfied. Very satisfied. It makes me think what is going to happen, going forward. But it almost, like for a show that took a lot of liberties with the direction it was going, they were able to refocus at the perfect time. What, like 2 episodes ago, and kind of go down the home stretch. And I thought it was a pretty big slam dunk. I really liked it personally. The characters, they tied everything up very nicely with every main character and supporting character that we've seen. So I definitely want to return to it and watch the whole season again now that I know what happened throughout the entire season. But I definitely I was satisfied with how it ended.
Cool.
So
I haven't seen the last episode yet, so I'll probably watch that and talk. We can all kind of do a deeper dive into that last episode. But like I said, I thought episode 9 was good. I'm hoping it ends. It sounds like it ends strong, so looking forward to checking it out. Not for JP.
Not for me.
probably, I think you would like how it was tied up.
There's some episodes I don't know that I can in good faith recommend this show to JP, but knowing like some of the detours that we've taken along the way.
Yeah, I'm good not watching this one.
All right.
You should watch Watchmen though.
Yeah, everyone keeps saying that. Probably check it out.
Yeah, Watchmen's good. It's got a similar vibe, but Watchmen's better. And like I said, there's a story point in the last episode that Watchmen touched upon, that kind of makes them feel similar too. But
All right. Well, we'll talk about the season finale more in depth next week after Doug finishes it and I watch it. But for now, let's move on to our feature presentation. So today we are talking fictional presidents in film and TV that we would vote for. So obviously we have got the election coming up. So we felt like now would be the appropriate time to talk about it. And because if we didn't, it wouldn't make sense for another 4 years. So let's do it now. Let's get right to the heavy hitters. And by heavy hitters, I mean the ones that really get their hands dirty. Who the fuck doesn't love President Thomas Whitmore in Independence Day, and President James Marshall in Air Force One. So we got Bill Pullman and his speech, and Harrison Ford fucking killing Gary Oldman on Air Force One. Absolutely wild.
I always forget he's the bad guy in that movie.
Oh, because he's like a chameleon back then, like with his accents, and that was pre Batman and Harry Potter when he was more of a character actor.
Yeah, and then he was in The Fifth Element. Was it The Fifth Element?
Yeah. Or that same year, right?
Yeah, I think so. These, in my opinion, are the two absolute front runners throughout all this. Like, if I had to choose, I'd choose between one of these fictional presidents that, is a war veteran, goes out there and kicks ass, really knows how to motivate the troops. Like, we need more of that in our lives in general. Because, veterans know, man. They know what it's like to sacrifice, and Bill Pullman as president fucking sacrificed. He went up there, he led the charge against the aliens. Man. If you can't get behind that, then I don't know what's wrong with you.
Yeah. We don't know too much about their like policy or anything like that, but we do know the man will fucking fly a plane and go attack aliens.
That's the only.
He's an everyman's president.
To know about.
Yeah. Is it a risky move? Does it even make sense? Probably not.
They would, In real life, they would never
Jeff Goldblum are the ones doing the real important work, but it definitely is a rah type thing that inspires the fucking people around you to go up in the air and fight these aliens.
Hell yeah. He gets Randy Quaid all fucking fired up.
He does. You ever see the deleted scene where he's actually flying his crop duster into the fucking beam and not an actual plane?
Yeah, that's kind of ridiculous.
I'm glad they decided to change that.
Yeah.
I think, in real life, I don't know that they'd really let the president get in a fighter jet and fly at the aliens. It's probably not great for your president to risk his life like that. But yeah, they're both badass.
Is there a vice president in that movie that we know of?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there is. They definitely keep them apart. Yeah, because they talk about
who's Dr. Bob.
Dr. Bob is in Area 51.
Yeah, is he like the Secretary of State or something?
Yes,
he's like an asshole.
Yeah, he's like the Secretary of State or something like that. And they talk about how oh no, I'm pretty sure the Vice President and Joint Chiefs of Staff are all dead. They talk about them for a little bit in the movie.
Did they die with the president's wife?
They might
have. I don't remember them being in the movie.
They're not
at all.
They definitely just mention them at some point. But
I'm just trying to understand
they could have been at the White House.
Who would have become president if Whitmore died during the fight scene?
You know what, though? Here's the deal. If Whitmore died, there'd be no Earth. Because he's the goddamn savior of Earth. So they
would have just made Will Smith. No, Will Smith would have came down. They're like, okay, you're president now.
I'm president of Earth.
But yeah, they're both great presidents in the fact that they're gonna kick ass. I pulled up both their bios, which I thought was really interesting that they both were pilots coming from a war. President Whitmore from Independence Day fought in the Gulf War as a fighter pilot.
Ooh.
And President James Marshall was a retired helicopter pilot in the Vietnam War.
He's an old man.
And he won the Medal of Honor.
Wartime presidents.
Yeah, Medal of Honor recipient, James Marshall. But when you go to like inspirational president speeches, President Whitmore,
maybe
speeches up there.
James Marshall is actually Harrison Ford's character from Apocalypse Now. He just went from one movie to another and becomes a we don't negotiate with terrorists president who fucking is a super badass.
Kicks a man off a plane. Doesn't get much better
Yeah.
than that.
Get off my plane.
Yep.
One of the great lines of the 90s.
Hell yeah.
I gotta revisit that movie. I haven't seen it in a while.
You know what? Glenn Close, she was the vice president of that. She was good. I would consider her for being a president. Yeah. Doug, what were you gonna say before I went off?
Oh, I was just talking about like if you're thinking about like best, someone that like the best, most inspirational speeches, like people always go to a Whitmore speech when he riles everybody up to fight the aliens.
Oh yeah. I listened to that.
It happens to be July
Independence Day.
4th. Yeah, it happens to be July 4th, and he's like, "This is America's Independence Day, but now it's everybody's Independence Day."
Yeah,
Dude,
it's-
that was one of the first like speeches in a movie that like brought fucking tears to my eyes when I was a kid. I was like, it's just so good.
It was good.
Yeah,
and you just
Such a
It's-
beautiful
it's cool.
speech.
yeah, it's
Like,
it's
I could
cool.
get
It's cool
behind
that
this.
like America's like his he's kind of like the president of the world that they're.
He really is. Like everyone
100%.
is just like,
Mm-hmm.
let's go. Whitmore, you're in charge.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. Yeah, I mean these two would be great. Yeah, we don't know policy wise; it could be absolute shit. But if there's aliens invading or terrorists
And then we
attacking a
want those
plane,
two.
like that's the president I want.
Just good leaders.
Yeah, which is
And Harrison
Which is
Ford
a
could
big
have left
part.
the plane. Like he had an escape pod, and he's like, "No, I'm good.
No,
I'm
yeah.
staying."
He's the man, dude.
Very, very bold strategy, but it did work out for him.
Captain of the ship. Not leaving.
yeah.
Yeah, no, it was. I'm glad he didn't because it was a hell of a movie because he stayed.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
for sure. He
And then-
he perpetrates some fucking carnage in that movie. He dominates some fucking fools. It's a good time.
Yeah. And then when it came to TV, I think I know me and JP, we are fucking
Yeah.
we praise Palmer.
Yes.
James Palmer from 24. Started out as what is he, a senator in the first season of 24 when he's running for president.
Yep. He's Senator Palmer.
And then he's president for 2 seasons of the show. Dude, this guy, I'd vote for him. He's just a good dude.
He's just so morally good. He's just so morally,
Yeah.
originally good, and he just has, he sticks to his guns, even if it means throwing his kids under the bus.
And he puts his faith in fucking Jack Bauer. And so many people in power don't.
Yeah.
So, like, you got to respect the hell out of him for knowing what's what.
Oh, definitely. And despite having the worst wife on planet Earth, he managed to get so much done.
It is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Sherry is
The biggest
pretty
piece
awful.
of shit in the entire show.
Yeah, I mean, Dennis Haysbert, I mean, I kind of feel like he was, not to bring like real life into this, but I mean, he was, a black president on 24, maybe 6 years before Obama.
Yeah.
We're going to go into Morgan Freeman later, which was also a few years prior to
Repeat
that.
offender.
But I mean, he made it like on TV, like a thing where everyone's like, he's fucking motherfucking president, James Palmer, Dennis Haysbert.
Yeah.
He's the guy. Now he does fucking Allstate commercials,
And
or is he State Farm? Which one is he?
he's Allstate, but he was also the
Allstate,
guy
right?
from Major League. He was fuck you, Jobu.
Yeah,
And the fact that that was confusing to me as someone that grew up watching Major League and always talked about Jobu with my parents. Like fucking Jobu's president. Yeah,
but I mean, sorry, you
I
go.
just if any person on Earth in real life was even half as good as David Palmer is, we'd be in a much better place. He's
That is a fact.
He's like the model president. You talk about getting riled up. That's your Bill Pullmans. They get you riled up. You just feel safe with someone like David Palmer in the White House. Even though every
And then-
single year of his presidency, there was some horrible terrorist
There's a
attack on
calamity.
America.
Including like on his life while he's the president.
then they
Eventually
kill him.
does eventually dies from terrorists.
Yeah.
But yeah, he had a run. And then there's like 17 presidents after him on 24.
Yeah, that the whole history of the United States in 24 is a fucking nightmare.
That is the worst timeline for America.
Every president after him, I'm pretty sure, was some crooked asshole.
They were either, or it was Palmer's brother, and he also like goes in a coma from terrorists.
Yeah, he was. Oh man, what a weird world that is.
But
I'm
yeah,
surprised Jack Bauer didn't become president in
He
that show.
probably should have.
well, they'll reboot it eventually and have him become president. Don't you worry.
Yeah,
There's a limited series on the
I
way.
mean, the man kicked the heroin habit in like 6 hours, so
He's
he
unstoppable.
can pretty much do whatever he wants.
Also, Doug, who was the president in the 24 video game that you owned? I believe you're the only.
Oh, the PS2
I believe
game.
you're the only owner of the
Jesus.
video
He
game
made
in the
a
world.
video game.
I remember that. Yeah, it was on PS2. I remember that.
I don't
never
I don't
played it.
remember
Still in
that
Doug's
game.
basement. Doug's parents' basement. You never beat it?
I don't. Yeah, don't ask me about plot details of the 24 game.
Well, we can only hope Palmer was in it and the president.
Yeah, hopefully it wasn't Logan. Ugh. Logan.
Yeah, he was a slimy guy. We would not vote for
Yeah,
him.
he would not be on this list.
All right. What about? We talked about Morgan Freeman, so let's get right into him.
The two-time.
Two-time president in two different roles, not just a two-term president, but a two-time president.
Yeah.
I mean, the man's been God. He's been like fucking everything. Of course, he was going to be president.
It's a shame.
Not once,
It's a
but
shame that the
twice.
2 movies he was president in sucked. Because
Yeah, I didn't even see one of them.
yeah,
Have any?
I
Has,
saw.
none of us have seen Olympus Has Fallen or that
I
whole trilogy, right?
no.
I saw bits
Uh-oh.
and pieces of one of them. I don't remember which one it was. It was on TV, and I just watched maybe a half hour of it. I mean, Morgan Freeman was good as president, but other than that, I don't know anything really about the movie.
Yeah,
Isn't,
I mean,
Gerard Butler's in it, right?
He's the main.
yeah, Gerard Butler's in it. I think when we're talking about Morgan Freeman as president, it's Morgan Freeman. It's not these bullshit characters he's played. I mean, it's the soothing voice of Morgan Freeman when he gets on TV to tell you that something's going down.
There's a massive
You know you're in good hands
asteroid coming
because
towards Earth.
Oh man, he could fireside chat me up,
Yeah.
telling me about an asteroid hitting
And the
Earth.
economy
It'd
may
be
be the
beautiful.
worst economy that we've ever seen.
That
in
golden
America,
voice, be fantastic.
But just know.
Doesn't he do? Doesn't he do things about space? Like narrates some show about space. I'm
The
pretty sure he
man
does.
was God.
Morgan Freeman,
mean-
Probably. He's probably been to space.
probably.
He might control space and
He
time.
probably
We don't
created
know.
space.
Maybe he is God. Nobody knows.
I mean, you can't prove that he isn't, I guess.
Yeah, The
go.
Cosmos by Morgan
There you go.
Freeman. Check it out. I've watched some of
But,
it.
so Morgan
actually.
Freeman created the cosmos.
No, he narrates something called The Cosmos. I think he's done. It's like a series through the
Yeah,
and
he's
then
also
through
done-
the wormhole. I've seen.
Yeah, through the
too,
wormhole.
which is right up Doug's alley because it's about
Yeah.
time travel.
I've watched that. It's good.
Of course.
Of course you have.
Yeah, but
But yeah, when it comes to asteroids hitting Earth, I would definitely take Morgan Freeman as my president over whoever the fuck the president is in
The
Armageddon.
president.
whoa.
I don't remember even who that is in that movie.
I don't remember who it is either, but you got to give the guy some credit for at least he took some action. There's an asteroid coming from Earth. He rounded up Bruce Willis and his team of drillers, shot him off to space, and they
Ben
they
Affleck?
drilled a hole into an asteroid and blew it up. I mean,
You'll never convince me that sending fucking oil people to space to learn how to be astronauts is easier than teaching astronauts how to fucking drill.
He made that call. It was a tough call at the time, but he took his presidential knowledge and said, "You know what?
It worked
I'm gonna
out.
send the drillers up there."
I mean, Steve Buscemi fucking gets space
Space
what
dementia.
is space dementia, and tries to like kill everyone.
Yes, he does.
Then you've got the Russian Grim Reaper, Peter
Yeah.
Stormare. He's fucking losing his shit up there as
Fuck
well.
yeah.
Isn't Ben Affleck in that movie?
I mean, Ben Affleck's
course he
one of the
is.
fucking stars of the movie, my man.
He
Yeah.
fucking puts animal crackers down Liv Tyler's fucking panties.
Her
Yeah,
panties.
that
I
was
remember
awkward
He's
that.
watching your parents.
he's got a
We also got Aerosmith.
Why is he doing that?
So shout out to Stanley Anderson, who is the guy that played the president in Armageddon. He is dead. He died in 2018.
Oh.
Rest in peace.
Wasn't he in The Rock too?
Yes.
Was he the president in The Rock?
He was the president in The Rock. He was uncredited as the president in The Rock. So another
We have-
two-time.
We have a two-time president. Or is he the same guy? And
Yeah.
The Rock and Armageddon are just in the same world.
That's true. It's true. It's entirely possible.
Same universe.
He was also in.
It's-
Wow.
It's the Bayverse.
He was a general in Spider-Man. He was General Slocum in Spider-Man, and he was in 40 Days
Okay.
and 40 Nights, starring Josh
Hey.
Hartnett.
That is quite the filmography.
Yeah. But yeah, he's
the Bayverse.
he's another two-time. Wow, that's
Who would have thought?
pretty crazy. And definitely, unlike Morgan Freeman that had the shitty movies, he got the popcorn movies. This guy picked his presidents well.
Yeah, I mean, you have Armageddon. That was the number 2 movie of 1998. The Rock, I think it was number 6
Yeah.
of 1996. So, two winners.
Yeah.
Good for him. And Armageddon did win the box office battle between that and Deep Impact.
No, because Deep
So-
Impact was a huge piece of shit.
It had the cool tidal wave, but
It did.
I remember
it
that.
didn't have fucking oil drillers saving the world.
No, didn't it have Robert
That's-
Duvall, like 700 years old, going up there to blow up the meteor?
Yeah, and fucking John Favreau when he wasn't fucking John Favreau. When he was Thin Favreau.
Wasn't Robert Duvall in that Space Cowboys movie too? With all the
I don't
old
know.
men that go into space?
It was Tommy Lee Jones, James Garner, and two other
Donald
guys.
Sutherland,
Two other old.
Clint Eastwood,
Oh yes, Clint. Clint directed it, right?
and Marcia Gay Harden.
Maybe. I remember that movie. That came out roughly around the same time, didn't it?
It came out in 2000.
Yeah.
Oh.
It was the same weekend as Hollow Man, if I remember
Oh
correctly.
boy.
Oh.
and
another-
and Coyote Ugly.
Oh.
Ooh,
What a
two
weekend!
great movies, yeah.
Didn't
showstopper.
see any of those in theaters, but all right. And then next up on here, we've got our girl Charlize Theron, so Furiosa
Yeah.
herself, as President Charlotte Field in Long Shot. Now, this was kind of a long shot pick because she's only present in the movie for the last 5 minutes, if that. But
It's a weak. That's just a weak administration. 5
But we
minutes as
get
president.
Seth Rogen.
yeah,
I don't know, man.
Seth Rogen as the first man.
exactly. We get Rogan in the Oval Office smoking doobies, laughing it up. It'd be something else. Eventually,
was,
Eventually, we're gonna get our first man. Why the fuck not have it be Seth Rogen?
Yeah. Bob
I
Odenkirk
think of a
was
few
was
reasons why not,
the
but
the president in that movie, wasn't he?
Because he's Canadian. Is that what you're saying, JP? You don't like Canadians?
sure, let's go with that. Canada, I'm on to you.
Yeah, Bob Odenkirk, Saul Goodman himself was president.
I would vote for Bob
he-
Odenkirk as president.
He was a former actor who became
Yes.
president. So he goes the Ronald Reagan. He's of the Ronald Reagan mold.
And he goes back to acting.
He goes back to acting. Yeah, that's why he
Yeah.
decides he doesn't
Not to
go for
run.
a second term because he wants
Yeah.
to return to acting.
That
But,
movie's so silly.
Yeah, no, it is. But I mean, Charlize, she sticks by her man in the movie, despite the fact that she's being bribed by Andy being extorted by Andy Serkis in
Yes.
some fat man makeup, and the extortion is based on Seth Rogen jizzing on himself.
Yeah.
So the whole world sees that grotesque sight.
Ugh.
But hey, she sticks by him. She becomes president. I'll take it. Charlize Theron
5 minutes of
for
fame.
president.
5
Yep.
minutes of presidency.
She's got character.
She does. And then our last one on here is of the cartoon variety. She's president in an alternate, or I guess one of their future episodes, and it is Lisa Simpson herself. I mean, Simpsons predicts a lot of shit. So, I mean, I feel like they just throw things at the board, and it's been on for so damn long that a lot of them hit.
Yeah.
So, Lisa, when she become president, she was always the most grounded of the family, the smartest. I don't know.
I'm not buying.
I would take
Simpson presidency.
I would take her of anyone of the Simpsons. I would take her over like Groundskeeper Willie and.
I want Skinner to be president.
And Mo.
Skinner's
Skinner's
a war veteran. He's
Skinner is buff.
He's buff.
Or no, Ned
Ned Flanders.
Ned
Flanders.
Ned Flanders and Groundskeeper Willie are buff.
Stupid, sexy Flanders. Yeah.
Yeah.
Skinner just has his relationship with his mother.
And Skinner's not even really Skinner. He just assumed that name from his corporal or something like that in Vietnam, I think. Right?
Yeah, he kind of pulls like a Don Draper.
Yeah. It's such
or Don Draper pulls a Skinner.
Yeah, because everything originates at The Simpsons.
That's what happened. Matthew Weiner was watching an episode of The Simpsons, and then like, oh, I got an idea for a show. In another 15 years.
I mean, Simpsons has probably already accurately predicted the end of the world. We just don't know it yet. And
yeah, when the time comes, we're not going to know it either. We're going to miss it, and then God is going to go, Simpsons did it.
Simpsons did it. Welcome to heaven. Simpsons did it.
So of all these ones, let's say, so we got Thomas Whitmore, James Marshall, James Palmer, the president from Armageddon, President Morgan Freeman, Charlotte Field, and Lisa Simpson. They're all on a ballot. Who do you vote for? Corey, let's start with you.
I think I'm gonna go Morgan Freeman.
President Morgan Freeman?
Yeah, I think he's a solid choice. You know, it's a comfortable choice.
Okay,
yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I think. Yeah,
Doug?
I think he would do the right thing.
Doug's really thinking now. He's like, this was a fucking.
Yeah, I think I froze
question
on the video.
He's going through months of campaigning in his head, seeing who's given him the best deal.
Who would win the
Doug's
debates?
Doug's like Doctor Strange.
Yeah, he's looking at all the different fucking
the different timelines.
I think I'd go Whitmore. Just
Wartime president?
I need a president where if aliens are invading Earth, he's gonna hop on a fighter jet and shoot them all dead. So, yeah, I gotta have Whitmore just for his ability to protect Earth and unite the world against an alien invasion.
Fair enough. JP, who you got?
I'm with Doug here. We need more veterans as politicians serving this country. I need someone that can get in an airplane, and when people are shitting on America, just start blowing aliens out of the sky in a fighter jet. I need that. I need the speeches. Going Whitmore all the way.
Wow, 2 for Whitmore.
Yeah, I believe my pick, which is now irrelevant, but I was going with President James Palmer. Dude just always had me at ease, no matter what horrible situation America was in. He made sure we got out of it one day at a time. But
my problem with Palmer was that too many bad things follow him.
It's fair.
I'm a little worried
Although,
that if I elect him, bad things will happen.
There was Independence Day resurgence.
Ooh, was Bill Pullman in that?
Mm-hmm.
Fake news. I refuse to believe that revisionist history. Bullshit.
I don't think he's president anymore, but
I would fucking hope not.
he clearly didn't get the job completely done.
That sucks. I blame.
But yeah, it looks like, unlike in America in 2020, we absolutely have a clear winner here, and that is President Thomas Whitmore from Independence
Hell
Day.
yeah. We will not go quietly into the night.
There you go. You speechify the shit out of that. All right. Before we wrap up this segment, let's go into a variation of this. And if we could pick any fictional character in all of media to be president, they don't have to have been a president in anything. Who do you guys got?
Michael Corleone.
So you got the Godfather.
Yeah, I'm going with the murderous man, strategist, Michael Corleone.
We give the audience a little behind the scenes moment. Everyone Corey was playing with was evil.
Thanos, I thought was a good choice too, but I went with Michael Corleone.
Thanos, the man who fucking promotes genocide.
Yep. Man's entire purpose in life is genocide.
Maybe everyone shouldn't vote. JP, I think you are on to something.
Dude, I'm the only one that predicted the future here because I want The Rock to be president, and The Rock will be president one day. And that's where we're heading as a country. You want a charismatic leader that don't take no shit from anyone.
President The Rock?
President The Rock.
He does everything else.
In an argument with another country, just put him in the ring and let The Rock kick some ass.
All right. Fair enough. Tug, who you got?
I would go President Professor X. Just, he's got an advantage, man. He can read everybody's mind. So he knows what everyone's thinking, and he can use that to negotiate with foreign leaders, and he's a good speaker. He could put together a solid cast around him. In the White House, he assembled the X-Men. I'm sure he can assemble an awesome cabinet too. So yeah, man, Professor X.
Secretary of
I think
State
he'd kick ass.
Beast will be his vice president. Kelsey Grammer Beast.
Good lord.
All right.
I mean,
Yeah, are you going with McAvoy or
That's true.
Patrick Stewart?
no,
Yeah,
Either
Sir
way,
Patrick
your president's fucking British, bro.
Yeah.
Sir Patrick Stewart. Professor X is American.
Well, he uses his mind tricks to change the rules of the country and gets into. I think he's got too much power to be president, man. You're gonna have problems.
So he breaks the law, and becomes president.
Doug only votes for him because he's being swayed by his mental telepathy.
I think he'd get it done. I think you're right. He's powerful, almost too powerful, but he's on America's side.
He's British.
Is he? Is he though?
He is.
I don't know about that.
He's really just coming in to fucking. He's gonna have the redcoats take over.
Yeah. I mean, it wouldn't
He's an
take him.
undercover operative.
It wouldn't be that difficult. All he'd have to do is put his hand to his temple, and suddenly we're Britain.
I think we'd be in good shape with President Professor X.
All right, President Professor X it is.
Who you got, Murph?
I've got Mayor Goldie Wilson from Back to the Future.
Yeah.
So I'm going all in on President Mayor Goldie Wilson. I mean, this man, he promised more jobs, better education, bigger civic improvements, and lower taxes. He campaigns on the ideas of honesty, decency, and integrity, all values that I can get behind. So he would be a little long in the tooth right now. He'd be, I believe, 87 years old. So he'd be pretty. I'm gonna say he's a one-term president.
He might be a one-week president, man.
Oh, hey, it'd still be pretty cool that this man started just as a fucking sweep garbage at the goddamn diner in Hill Valley. Then he goes and fucking becomes the mayor because of Marty McFly giving him the confidence he needs. Now he becomes president of the United States. President Mayor Goldie Wilson.
Book it.
That's who I got.
Yeah. I like the sound of that.
Yes, I mean we got some good ones. We got President The Rock, President Professor X. President Mayor Goldie Wilson, and President The Godfather Part 2. So that's quite a lineup of potential nominees
In all
to
fairness,
take over the
Murph's
country.
candidate's the only one with actual political experience.
Yep.
Good point. But I know people like outsiders. Anyone can win in America, and that's what's special about this
Hell
country.
yeah.
Is anyone can ultimately become president if they put their mind to it.
Only 2 and 3 more years so we can all start running under the Live Breathe Film Party.
This is true. I forgot about the fact that we technically are still not eligible to run for president if we wanted to.
Keep an eye out in 2024, everyone.
All right, that's what we got. So happy election day and whatnot over the next couple weeks, and that's our coverage of election 2020 at Live Breathe Film.
You heard it here first. It's Bill Pullman's president, guys.
All right, and as always, we will conclude the show with our yearly film series. We're at 1992 now, so hey boys, we were entering kindergarten this year. That's exciting.
I remember in 1992 I had a Jurassic Park pencil case. I'm pretty sure.
As did I.
Yeah, I think we all did. That was a good
I
time.
think you, me,
Yeah, I
and
probably had
Kyle
one
all
too.
had one.
Yeah, we all had
And
different
we all had different ones too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all showed our what dino we aligned with.
I forget which one I had.
I think you had a Raptor.
Probably.
I remember you guys having them.
Big raptor
Weren't they
guy.
like they were green and yellow like the truck?
Yeah, I think
No,
on
they
the
had like
back they were
maybe on the back and on the front it was like a
a picture of a
still
dinosaur.
image from the movie.
Oh,
I think it was like Dilophosaurus, Raptor, and T-Rex.
T-Rex, yeah.
gotta have the T-Rex. Yeah.
Yeah, I think all of us included movies that we watched from around that time period. I know I did, and JP, you
I definitely
did,
did.
and Doug did. All right, and yeah. So let's turn back the clock to 1992. Corey, let's talk about your film.
So, my favorite movie with Sean Astin, Brendan Fraser, and Pauly Shore, Encino
Oh,
Man.
I called it last week.
I'm guessing those are the only film. That's the only film that the three of them starred.
It's
I'd
possible,
be horrified if it
but-
wasn't.
I love this movie. I've loved it since I don't remember the first time I saw it. Definitely, probably around when it came out.
Would you watch it with your brother probably back then?
Yeah, probably. Probably on like HBO or something. I caught it, but I always really enjoyed this movie. It's fun. It's ridiculous, and it's interesting now, and not Pauly Shore, but to see the career that Sean Astin and Brendan Fraser inevitably had after this. Pauly Shore is just, still Pauly Shore. I think he just had a movie, and he is literally doing the same exact thing that he's been doing for the past 20 years.
Buddy.
Yeah. It's a funny movie. Kind of goes into, like your early 90s teen comedy. I wouldn't even call it a rom-com at all. It's just a ridiculous like teen comedy about two friends that unearth a caveman in their backyard that's frozen in their backyard, and they thaw him out and he's alive, and he ends up going to high school, and no one notices that. They think he's a foreign exchange student. No one notices that there's something wrong. So and then it kind of goes from there. But good music, and just it's
Yeah,
funny.
I mean, it's got
Definitely,
that early '90s soundtrack, so
yep.
it's got to be solid.
It's definitely up there with Empire Records.
Oh, shut
Murph's
the fuck
favorite
up!
movie.
Shut the fuck up. We'll get.
I
to
can't
Empire
wait
Records.
till
When is
that.
1995 or 4.
Something like that. I feel like I have to pick it just because.
I think our entire
Oh,
feature
yeah.
presentation should be shitting on that movie.
I don't pick it just because of that reason. We still talk about it.
Yeah, I think even if you don't pick it, we're gonna be like, and we're gonna still talk about Empire.
we're still gonna jump on Corey and
Yeah,
Of course,
Corey,
pick
actually,
it.
you did.
I'll fucking pick you just so we can make sure we do get to talk about it. That's a good tactic. If there's ever a movie we just want to shit on,
Yeah.
pick it.
Just pick it.
I've never actually seen all of Encino Man. That was like Pauly Shore's, I guess, breakout one. He had like that string of '90s comedies.
I think it's
But
the
that
one
least
kinda-
shitty
yeah, you're right.
one that he's ever done.
That one seemed like it was like a real movie versus like
yeah,
Biodome.
Son-in-Law. Biodome,
Son-in-Law.
Son-in-Law, Jury Duty. That one in the army now. Yeah, Encino Man seemed like a real movie, and I think the fact that Sean Astin and Brendan Fraser are in it is probably the reason why it feels like a real movie.
I've watched it recently, and it's definitely still holds up. Pauly Shore is definitely not his like usual state of extra
Mhm.
that he is in most of his movies. Like he's still Pauly Shore. He's the comedic relief of the movie, but him and Brendan Fraser kind of go back and forth pretty well. And then Sean Astin is just there as, like secondary comic relief. But they were good. They had good chemistry.
Gotcha. All right. Doug, what do you got?
I picked the Three Ninjas.
Yes.
I get that I bashed cheesy karate not that long ago, and I picked a movie that's got cheesy ninjutsu, I guess. But whatever. This movie's got nostalgia for me. I really enjoy it. Looking back on it, it was clearly a cash grab and combining like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Home
Karate
Alone.
Kid.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say Karate
Mhm.
Kid,
Since
but yeah,
it's-
it is more of those two movies.
It's because like the three kids have like their nicknames Rocky, Colt, and Tom Tom,
Tum
and they all have like different color.
He's
Yeah,
Tum Tum. Not a
Tum.
navigation unit. He's a fat kid.
Tom.
He's a fat kid. You're right. But you got the
He's not
three
even half
kids.
fat.
They all.
No, he's not. That was.
But they
fat
make
back
fun
in
of
the
him for being-
90s, so. Yeah.
Yeah, that was before fast food really made that not fat anymore. But the three kids have like the colors that they wear, which is
Yeah.
basically Ninja Turtles.
It's
You
true.
got like
What are they?
Was
Blue,
it Rock-
yellow, and white.
I don't remember the colors.
Yeah, I
blue,
think you're
green and yellow.
Oh,
orange,
green.
right?
I think, yeah.
And then
Yeah.
Rocky's the leader,
Yep.
Leonardo character.
Colts the Raphael.
Colt's the Raphael.
Tum Tum's the
And Tom Tom
Michelangelo.
is very clearly the Michelangelo.
Yeah, and then they have the
do-
burglars that are like Home Alone, not the kidnappers that are essentially the Home Alone scene with them doing all the pranks.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh
and
my
then
god, they are so stupid, those thugs.
They do
Oh
all.
my
Yeah,
God.
they do all those pranks. I think that was my first exposure to X-Lax. And like that there was a
Massive,
remember
some
that.
massive diarrhea.
like that there was something you could put in a drink that would make people just like shit like crazy. I was like, oh okay, I didn't know that was a thing. But yeah, it was just it's a fun movie. I still enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely
I
not
think
like a
the
great
second-
movie, but it's a fun movie.
Yeah, like I said, it's definitely a cash grab, but it's good for a cash grab. And then I think was it the second movie?
They go the
What's the
Karate
movie
Kid
where you
route.
get Hulk Hogan?
That's like the fourth one.
The
Or the
third
third.
one.
The third one.
No, the fourth one. Three Ninjas at Mega Mountain. Right? Isn't
Yeah,
that what it's
yeah.
called?
High Noon at Mega Mountain, I think.
That's the fourth.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it's called.
That's the
Okay.
fourth one.
I don't know why I still remember that, but
Three Ninjas
Yeah.
Kick Back is the second. That's where they go to Japan. So that's like the Karate
Yep.
Kid Part 2 type movie.
Mhm.
Then I think it's Three Ninjas Knuckle Up.
Knuckle Up, yeah, is the
Mhm.
second one, I'm pretty sure.
And that went with a PG-13 rating, which as a kid I always thought was pretty weird.
That's pretty nuts, actually, yeah.
And then, then they did High Noon at Mega Mountain with Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
I never saw 3 or 4. Did you guys?
I don't even remember seeing
I did.
two.
I saw
I think I saw 3.
I saw 3 and 4 in theaters.
I saw
remember.
1. I saw 1 and 2 in theaters.
I don't know why, but I did.
At some point, they like switch the kids or something, right?
Yeah,
think
no,
you'd
they
have to.
weren't. I don't think they were the same in the fourth one, but in 2 and 3 they were the same actors.
Yeah. Once you
What I
like
remember.
lose the original actors, you kind of lose me.
Did you
The
guys?
only character
Sorry, you go.
the
Corey.
only character that returned for all of them was the grandfather character, like that actor, I think.
Did you guys have the VHS for Three Ninjas?
Yes.
Probably
Um,
not.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you
I definitely
remember the trailer to Surf Ninjas?
did. Yes.
Yes.
I mean, I own Surf Ninjas.
What?
Yeah, I've seen that movie. I've seen that movie a ton of times.
Mind blown.
Wow.
Tell me all about it. Is it good?
Not really.
I've seen
they've
it,
got-
but I don't really remember anything.
They've got powers, and they're basically the Three Ninjas, but they've got powers and they surf.
They have powers.
So
my
they
God.
went. Yeah, like the one has like his Game Gear can kind of like predict the future.
Oh my lord! Can we watch this?
This is the most 90s movie ever.
I remember
Yeah.
it being ridiculous when I saw it back in the day.
It's pretty ridiculous, but I was always entertained by it.
Wow. There's some movies where you just like you had it on VHS and you'd always watch the trailers but never actually see the movies. That was one of
Yeah.
them for me. Sounded just looked fascinating.
Yeah, no, I owned it. They probably can dig it up for you, Murph.
Oh, thank you. I don't have a VHS player, so I wouldn't be able to watch it. But
That's true.
That could be a watch in our future to just shit on.
yeah, Thanksgiving we'll watch Surf Ninjas
Oh boy.
and
Along-
blown away.
and blown away.
All right, JP, what about yourself?
I picked Army of Darkness because that's my favorite
Yeah.
Evil Dead movie, and that's like the only Evil Dead movie I'll watch. I had a lot of fun sitting down and watching that with my dad. I mean, that was a movie. This is always a movie we used to watch together, like a lot. It was always on TV at our house. I say that a lot about these movies, but it's true. It's fucking hilarious, and I still quote this movie probably weekly. Every week of my life because it's so fucking funny. Bruce Campbell is really in his element in this one because he does comedy, like cheesy, campy comedy better than really any other B star out there. Such a weird movie too because the Evil Dead series. This is when Raimi went like full Raimi, and he went from making campy horror movies to a horror comedy that just is so him. I love this movie. I can't get enough of it. If you don't like being super scared like I do, this is just the perfect amount of scary with just such great over the top humor. It
Yeah,
really
that's
has
why we when we recommend our horror movies to you, they're more of this like tone where it's more
Yeah.
comedy than horror. Ones like The Babysitter, which we'll talk about those two movies next week. If there was
gory for me.
if there was anyone expecting us to talk about it today, because we did say we would, we will be talking about the first two next week.
Yeah,
That one was a little gory for you.
it was a little gory for me. Yeah, not that bad. It's definitely funnier. We'll talk about
Yeah.
it next week, but
For sure.
I don't like blood.
You think we'll ever get a Raimi Evil Dead 4?
I don't think so. I honestly don't think we should. We got the TV show. They had Ash versus the Evil Dead, which I watched a little bit of it, and it really had that feel to it. It just, I think it was on Stars or something fucking stupid that I don't have, so I couldn't watch it. I think there was like a period where I was living at home between houses and shit, and my parents have Stars for some fucking reason, so I was watching that. It definitely has the same vibe to it. It's a good watch, but I don't think we even really need a Raimi Evil Dead 4. Just keep putting Bruce Campbell in your movies. That's what we all want.
Put him in Doctor Strange.
Yeah, I would love to see that.
I'm sure it'll happen.
Bruce Campbell is just such a treasure. He's a great actor. He's fucking hilarious.
Good man.
Yeah, he really is.
All right, and then my pick is the Mighty Ducks.
Hey.
So I'm going in the same vein as Doug with a kids pick from the early '90s. But yeah, of the trilogy, I definitely think the first one is the best. When I was a kid, I was more of a D2 guy, but as an adult, looking back, I'm like, oh no, part one is actually way better, and it actually has some very adult themes to it. I mean, fucking Emilio Estevez, Gordon Bombay, is only coaching the team because he gets a goddamn DUI.
Mm-hmm.
In the
And,
world of movies where they can get creative punishments with
yeah,
the justice
so
system in America.
because he was a former hockey player, his punishment is instead of jail time, he has to coach a Pee Wee hockey team.
Jesus.
But I mean, it's a great flick.
There's a third Mighty Ducks movie?
Yeah, bro, you haven't seen D3?
No.
It fucking sucks.
Mm-hmm.
What is that?
Yeah, they're in
Is
college.
Emilio Estevez in that?
Not much of it.
Okay.
Like he's in like the beginning and the end. It's more. All right, fuck it. Let's talk D3. D3. My problem with D3 is that they don't play hockey like at all in the movie. They're just playing. They're just doing pranks on each other, and it's fucking stupid. I don't like
Are
it.
they in college or something?
They are in like a preparatory school.
Okay.
And the team gets split up between like a varsity and a JV. It's fucking
Why
weak
do I not
sauce.
remember this?
New coach, stupid.
Why do you play college
pranks-
hockey?
The pranks aren't even that funny. But Keenan has a bigger role. Joshua Jackson's still fucking stupid.
I forgot he was in
D1
those movies.
Mighty Ducks and D2 all the way.
Yeah.
I don't know. Am I alone in my fucking dislike of D3, the Mighty Ducks?
I didn't even know it existed, so
No,
hate
it's not. It's not good. Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah, I don't remember D3 enough to hate it as much as you do, Murph. I mean,
Forgetting
the first
it
one's
is
definitely the best.
good enough. Yeah.
I was
Like
definitely
D2
a
is
D2 guy.
D2 is definitely the D2. I was like I said, I was totally a D2 guy as a kid. It's definitely the most fun movie.
Yeah.
They had the better
But-
uniforms.
The Mighty Ducks, the first one is absolutely the best one of the three. And little known fact, the director of the film is, or not the director, the writer of all three films is the guy who was in The Wedding Singer, who's friends with Gulia, who basically encourages Adam Sandler to get punched in the face. Stephen Brill. Yeah, he's
Imagine that.
directed plenty of Adam Sandler movies, including Hubie Halloween.
Oh shit, that was that guy? Fuck you,
Yes,
guy.
it was. He's directed Mr. Deeds,
Thank you.
Little Nicky, Hubie Halloween, a couple of the other Netflix ones. And yeah, and he was and Heavyweights.
Oh shit, okay. That was a good
And
movie.
he wrote Ready to Rumble. Oh man, this guy's better than I thought.
Prolific.
But yeah, he's had quite the career. But yeah, Mighty Ducks, first one, all the way.
We could do
All
a
right,
quack
Duckworth.
chant. Are we all going to quack to end out this
Quack,
series?
quack, quack, Mr.
Quack,
Ducksworth.
quack, quack.
Quack.
Yep, big quack, 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 Mr. Ducksworth.
Ducksworth gave Gordon Bombay his second chance after his DUI.
He did, but then he got quacked out of his own fucking office.
Get fucking quacked,
Yeah.
Ducksworth, you bitch.
Yeah. Can we just I give a shout out to Hans? I noticed that in the first one and the second one, they're two different people.
Two different characters.
Hans and
Two different characters,
different
bro. You got to know this.
I never realized that it was two different characters. It's like his brother, his like twin brother. I don't remember Hans and
Franz.
Hans and Jans.
Franz? Jans. Yeah, there you go. I'd never realized that it was two different characters until I watched it a couple weeks ago.
And
D2.
you know, it's Hans and Mighty Ducks, and then it's fucking
Jan.
Yeah, Jan in Mighty Ducks too. But Hans returns for D3.
Oh.
That's
Yeah.
that's cool. That they get a little couple points for that.
Well, because Hans has to go back to whatever country
He got
they're
deported.
from to tend to like their sick mother or something like that. They like threw that out right in the beginning of the movie, and I was just like, "What? This is where? I can't believe this. I never realized this in my young age."
Hans and Jan, two
Until
different
now?
people. I think they're cousins or brothers. No one really
Yeah, I
knows.
think-
I'm actually looking at Wikipedia to find out what the relationship is between the two.
I was like, "My life is a lie."
can we also find
Childhood,
out
everything.
why he couldn't make it for the second one? Was he like? Did he
Oh,
go
he's
like class?
Jan is the brother of Bombay's mentor Hans.
See, and isn't his mother sick or their mother is sick, and he goes back? I'm not making that up.
Makes
I'm
sense.
pretty sure that's.
I don't know why Jan doesn't go.
Jan doesn't like his mother.
Yeah.
They're strange.
It's a whole nother subplot.
Makes sense. Makes a lot of sense.
Where it gets
I
Jan.
gotta send you guys a link. Actually, I watched this a couple weeks ago. It was a trailer for the Mighty Ducks, but turning it into a thriller, and
I've
it
seen
does
that.
it does a really good job.
They cut some scenes from like Emilio's other movies where it's it's fucking great.
Yeah, I
You
gotta see
post-
that.
I don't
post
think
that
I've
on,
seen
the-
that.
on the social media. Post that on like our Twitter or some shit.
Yeah,
Nothing for
I
me
love-
has ever
love
topped
that
the
stuff.
the Dumb and Dumber as a thriller.
That one's good.
I
It was just like-
personally like the Shining one. That's turned into like a comedy.
That's fucking funny.
That's
Isn't
a
it like a
good one,
rom
too.
com?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are really funny.
All right, as always, we are way off track, so let's end it. That's all we've got for today. Thanks as always for listening. Please like, follow, subscribe to our various pages. Feedback always appreciated. But just so you guys know, starting next week with our next episode 20, you'll be able to watch our ridiculous banner on YouTube versus just listening to it. So please make sure you subscribe to YouTube if you are more of a visual person. We could use the subscribers, so even if you're not a visual person, just subscribe anyway. It's very easy. It's a click of a button. But as always, this has been Corey, Doug, JP, and Murph at Live Breathe Film. We'll be back next week, and we hope you are too. Thank you.